Thank you for joining us today for our weekly webinar. My name is Alicia Race. I'm a partner at Fourlane, and I am very excited to talk to you today about estimates versus actuals and what that means in QuickBooks Enterprise. Before we dive into this topic, I've got a few business-related things that I want to talk about with you. If you missed any of our previous videos, you can always find them on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Fourlane. Remember to go ahead and subscribe so you can get notifications when any new videos come out, just in case you can't attend our weekly webinars. You can also connect to us via our Fourlane Facebook group. That is Fourlane QuickBooks Enterprise. You can also connect to your peers here as well, but you have access to our staff and our owner. As always, I want to mention our Fourlane on-demand support service we offer to our clients. This service is only $25 per QuickBooks user per month for up to 5 users. Then it drops to $20 per month per user for 6 or more users. You know, we wanted to offer an alternative solution for our clients so they didn't have to sit through long hold times, didn't have to get frustrated with, you know, not getting answers when they're truly in a bind. Yesterday, I talked to a client where they had been sitting on the phone trying to get information and answers, and after 4 hours, they just decided, you know what, I've got to find someone that can truly help me. So even though in the past we used to not have this, we really felt that it was beneficial to our clients and just to the QuickBooks community that we could, you know, offer this to everyone, and they would be able to really have access, direct access to experts and truly resolve your issues. And if we can't resolve them, one of our core values is always providing that solution. So we'll never tell you sorry, right? We will always provide you with a solution in order to resolve the issue that you have going on. All right, well, let's go ahead, switch this slide here. Let's talk about our topic, estimate versus actuals. So what does this mean? Does anyone know? You know, there's a lot of clients that know exactly what this is. They live in this space every single day. And then there's other clients that they get intimidated. They've never heard it before. They don't know what it is, and it seems like a mystery. Well, estimates versus actuals can be used in so many different scenarios that I just wanted to cover with you exactly, you know, what it is inside of QuickBooks and how we can get this information out. It's not as complicated as you may think. It can be very useful and very time saving, right? We always want to try to be more efficient. Anything we can eliminate manual processes with, that is something I highly encourage my clients to find those solutions, right? Manual data entry, manual tracking inside of Excel, that is, you know, time consuming. And it also takes that manpower. So that individual that knows how to do this, they never get a break from it, right? So we want to be able to show you today how to track this estimated revenue and cost versus actual revenue and cost inside of QuickBooks. So using estimates versus actuals is typically found in job costing scenarios. Construction companies, they most likely will use these types of activities on a day-to-day basis. But what's another example? So another great example that I worked on personally using estimates versus actual is managing grants. I had, as a former controller, I had multiple grants that we had to keep track of, set them up inside of QuickBooks, set them up as jobs, created the budget, and was able to get my reporting very quickly inside of QuickBooks. So that most people don't think they can be used in anything other than construction companies or job costing, but managing grants, there's a lot of rules and there's a lot of reports that come along with it. So, you know, managing grants is definitely something that is a good alternative to job costing use for these. So an estimate is a starting point for tracking a budget. Of course, not everybody calls it an estimate, right? You can call it a bid. Some people can say a proposal, or even we can call it a quote. And we can title our transaction whatever we want it to. But at the end of the day, whatever terminology you use on the template, that transaction type inside of the system, it's an estimate. It will always be an estimate. And QuickBooks will always handle estimates the same way. Let's go ahead and go into the system and start looking at estimates, okay? So the very first thing that I want to do is I want to go into our company preferences, and I want to make sure that we have it turned on so we can truly start tracking. So we're going to go to Edit, Preferences, and just a note, we do need to be in single user mode as admin so we can go do this. Tend to forget I am always in single user mode and admin because I'm always in the sample files. So edit preferences and our preference window opens up. We're going to go to our jobs and estimates section and we're going to go click on company preferences. Okay, so now that we've got our company preferences open, we want to be able to say yes. Do you create estimates? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so now that we've got this turned on here, and just to make sure that everyone sees this, right? Now that we've got that turned on, we want to go ahead and do what? I don't know, some people may think, now that we've got that turned on, let's go ahead and start entering in estimates. Well, that's not actually our next step. Our next step is we want to go into the customer center and start setting up jobs. So we're going to go into the customer center. We're going to have this open up. And you can see over here, and I'm going to use my spotlight here, but we can see we've got Campbell Heather. She's got house new construction, right? We've got quality built construction. We've got different things here, admin, paperwork, building, client meetings, marketing. So quality built construction, that's my parent. Okay, that is my parent customer. Everything underneath it is going to be my job. So here we've got Alicia Delancey, and then underneath that, we've got the pool house. Okay, so if we don't typically use jobs, right? We're not normally using jobs because maybe we're not a construction company, but we still want to track that budget versus actual or estimate versus actual. You still go in and set up a job in order to do this type of tracking, okay? So we're going to set up an individual job underneath a customer, the parent customer. This will enable you to keep track of that income and expenses at that job level. Again, QuickBooks terminology, using jobs. And we can also ensure that we're simplifying any bookkeeping or anything that you're probably doing outside of the system. So let's just say we want to record our expense for a permit. Okay, well, we're going to go into that and we're going to show you how to do that. But this is what we call job costing, is when we're recording that, we want to tie it back to this job. So we want to tie that back to the pool house. So Alicia's getting a new pool house. Would love to get a new pool house. Would love to get a pool. Just kidding. So we're going to get this new pool house, right? And if we go get that pool house, when we're recording our expenses, we're going to tie it back to that job, okay? So now let's go ahead and go create our estimate. So a couple of ways to get there, right? Always multiple ways to get somewhere in QuickBooks. We can go from the Customer Center, we can go into estimates. Okay, we can go from home and go into estimates because we've got that turned on. All right. So I'm just going to go back to the Customer Center. We are going to go to new estimate. Actually going to go ahead and pull this one up that I entered, and I want to show y'all a couple of things, and we're going to go create a new one. Okay, so we've got our items set up in here, and we've got our quantities. So when we go in and we create at the item level, this is where the importance comes in. At the item level, we want to track our budgets, right? So we want to be able to see if I'm estimating particular things that, like, this is going to be my cost, right? I can have my markup here if this is my true cost, if I need to do that. But we want to put at the item level. Okay, we don't want to use miscellaneous because miscellaneous is not going to tell me where in the future I should plan better or budget better, okay? So let's go ahead and create a new. We're going to go into the pool house and we're going to just follow through, and now we have classes turned on in this. We're going to go ahead and say select one. We're going to put today's date and our estimate. And we're going to use our item list to start building this budget for this pool house for our client. So we're going to need floor and framing. Okay. We're going to throw in we're going to need wall framing. Definitely going to need a roof. Okay, so now that I've got a couple of items on here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this estimate. Okay, between the two estimates, I've got permits, I've got some floor and some wall framing and roof framing. So I've got kind of the design of my pool house kind of starting. So when I'm in the Customer Center, and one of the reasons why I wanted to go back to this is because we have our standard canned reports underneath the Customer Center, and anything in blue like this we can drill down on, okay? So now I've got my estimates. I'm gonna go ahead and click on estimates versus actual. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see the standard canned report. I didn't have to do anything to this. All I did was set up my customer, my job, and I created my estimate at the item level. And now that I did that, I have estimated cost, and it's being populated at the item level. I have actual cost, which is all zero because we don't have those yet. Then I have my estimated revenue, okay? Now, some people are saying, Alicia, your estimated cost and your estimated revenue, it's exactly the same. So this all depends on, how we set up our item list. And did this on purpose. I want to go back. So if we say now we want to put in our markup, okay? If I want to put in a 50% markup, I can do that, right? I can do that right here. So let's just go ahead and say we're going to put in a 50% markup for everything on this estimate. And now we can see we've got a markup of $4,500. My total cost is going to be $9,000. My markup is going to be $4,500. If I want to see it this way, I have this ability at the estimate level, okay? If potentially we're trying to make sure that we get a 50% markup on everything that we sell, this is one way to do it. You could also do it in the item list, but this is one way to do it, okay? I'm going to go back and I'm going to update the other one really fast, but I wanted this to show up. I want to also, as we're doing estimate versus actual, this is important. And I think a lot of people don't realize this is available in QuickBooks. So I wanted to set this feature up to show everybody that if we have a change order, which is any kind of change or modification to the estimate, to our budget, right? If the customer comes back and Alicia's getting her pool house, and believe me, Alicia changes her mind quite a bit. Now, maybe she decided, oh, you know what? I actually don't want those wooden floors. I decided I want tile floors. Let's go ahead and do those tile floors. Well, I've changed my budget, and so this is going to say, here's what all changed on this date. Do you want to go ahead and add this? And we can say add. And now if I go back to this, it is at the body of the estimate and we can see it. It will not go away. We can email this to our client. We can say these are the modifications. And now, right here is what your new total is. Okay. So I'm going to quickly go in. I'm going to add 50% markup here. Okay, so now we've got the same thing. We've got our cost, $49.50. We've got our markup, $24.75. And now we've got our total, okay? So again, we're gonna go ahead and add that scope change here. And now we're gonna go back, and I've got my open windows. So I'm gonna go back to my open estimate report, and I'm going to refresh, okay? So now my estimated cost at the item level is coming in at $13,950. My estimated revenue is coming in at $20,925. So now I have the ability to see what my profit is going to be. If I'm over at any of these budget lines, I will have this information for the future. If I am not budgeting enough markup on my plans, or I'm not even estimating the total cost correctly, right? That will be something I can come back and see very quickly from this report, okay? I'm gonna go back to our home page because we're gonna follow our flow chart. So estimates, then we can go to purchase orders. You can go ahead and put in a purchase order. And one of the things that I want to talk about is putting in things such as purchase orders and estimates and sales orders. These are all non-posting transactions, okay? If I put in a purchase order and I put it in for the plans, this does not mean that this is going to hit my actuals. And notice that I don't have any sales order on the AR side of things. That's because Sales orders do not have anything to do with our estimate versus actual reporting inside of QuickBooks. Okay. Estimates, which is right there in the title of it, estimates do, and our actuals do, and actuals are going to be recorded when cost hit the profit and loss, okay, or the P&L report. And that is based off of invoicing, and we're going to get to that. So we're going to show how we can do job costing, and if we've got true purchasing that's taking place, going back to this, we're just going to put a quantity of 1, and I do not remember everything that I put. So we are just going to fill this in. Okay, and the customer, we're going to go back and we're going to put the customer right here. Okay, and the reason why we're going to put the customer at this level is when I enter in the item receipt for this, it's automatically going to pull over for me. So I only have to do this one time. I don't have to do it multiple times. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create an item receipt. And I'm going to receive against my PO that I just put in. We can see that our customer came over, and we can also see that our class came over, right? So I'm going to go ahead and save and close. Okay. So now I'm going to go back. Wrong one. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to refresh my report, and you see nothing hit my actuals. Nothing hit my actuals. Even if I go back to my purchase order, and I convert this to a bill, when I go back to my job costing report, now we have our actual cost. So item receipt, they go to my accounts payable, but they do not go because they do not go to our actual cost. And our items, the reason, oops, wrong one. And our items here are double-sided. We've got job-related cost. We've got it hitting cost of goods sold. So it hits what report, which is our P&L report, profit and loss. So it hits our P&L. And I am trying to watch time to make sure I can get everything covered. So I'm going to speed up just a little bit here. So it hit our P&L. It hit our cost column. Okay. Once we convert it to a bill, it is actually, item receipts will not, but once we convert that to a bill, it's going to hit our actual cost. Okay. Anytime it hits, if we have inventory, inventory has 3 accounts that it hits. So let's just go look at this real fast. Inventory hits 3 accounts: an asset account, cost of goods sold, and income. Inventory items do not hit actuals, revenue, or cost column until they are invoiced. Okay, so if it is hitting on the balance sheet and we receive an inventory part, then it won't go until we invoice. Okay. Anything that is going to hit the P&L directly right away, and this company, which I'm always in the manufacturing, so now I remind myself I'm in construction, everything is service items, and that will hit our P&L. Now we have our actual cost, but no revenue. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to our customer center. We're going to go to our estimate. Of course, I went to the wrong one. We're going to go to our estimate here, and we're going to invoice the 3 things that we've received and that we have costs for. Okay, so I'm going to create our invoice. Doing this quickly. So now we've got our invoice, and even though we just have for the plans and permits, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save and close on this. And we are going to be able to see our estimate versus actual report, our actual revenue. Okay. I didn't make any modifications to the invoice dollar amount. If I actually had made modifications so that it would be, you know, $500 in my city license and fees, then I would have had a difference here, an expected difference. We can see that we do not have any actual revenue or actual cost for these items down here. So we can easily see where we're at. Okay, I've got $600 in actual cost. Now that I've invoiced more than what I have paid for, I've got $7,425. Okay, so some of these other reports, right? We can do estimate, job estimate versus actual at the summary level. This is going to give me all of my projects, all of my jobs at a very, very high level, okay? This is the summary. So if we've got multiple projects, right? So Albert Cruz here has a kitchen remodel, cottage, new construction. And once we've got this, we now see that where I'm at, very high level overall. I had my estimated cost at $398, my actual cost coming in at $333, my estimated revenue and my actual revenue, which is definitely $132,000 over here. But we can see where we're at. Okay, this is high level. If I want to go in and I want to run my estimate versus actual detail, and that's what we were looking at previously. Okay, I can come here and I can select it for that job. Now this is one where we've actually got everything filled out and we've got it at the item level. Okay, so now at this item level, I have all of my estimated costs, my actuals, and I can see I just have our billing percentage of completion. I didn't actually bill for all of these individual items, but I did bill for my percentage of completion. Overbilled, but we billed it. Okay, and we can see where we were at on our estimated cost, what we were over or under. Right here on the demo, we estimated it to be $100. We were super close, less than $10 off, $90.36. Okay, so we can see where we're at. Here in our landscaping, we were at estimated 10,000 and we were over by 3,000, so we were at 13,224. Okay, I might be over at this point. If you could just hang on a few minutes, I just want to show one or two more things. If I go back and I'm going to enter a bill, what I want to do is I just want to enter a bill at my account level, the expense level, and I want to go ahead and hit maybe my job labor. Maybe I want to hit $5,000 here. I'm going to go ahead and take this to Alicia's pool house. Okay. And maybe for whatever reason, I had to do this because of my scenario is I had someone come, a contractor come, and I needed to get this done really quickly. I needed to give this to them. Okay. So I went ahead and entered in that bill. If I go back and I run my estimate versus actual on the pool house, We will now see we have a no item here. What this no item means is at the item level, I did not budget for this labor. And I had my actual cost for something completely different that did not get on that item tab of that bill. It hit that expense, right? So now I have that no item. So this is one thing that a couple of my clients have tried to figure out. Why does it do this, right? So this no item is only showing up because we did not use the item, and we can see we didn't budget for it, right? And it's showing up here. We can drill down to go in to see what's causing it and creating it, and then we could potentially fix it, right? We could come in and we could fix We'll just pick supervision. Okay, and then we can go pick the pull and we can delete this line. And now we've got it at an item level. So when we go back to our report, now we don't have that anymore. Okay, so see how it goes away? So again, our supervision wasn't budgeted, but I do have it at the item level. The no item went away, and I've got my actual cost here. So these are some things that a lot of my clients have been tracking outside of the system. This is so super helpful and useful that I hope that it has helped someone today, because you don't have to do this outside of QuickBooks anymore. You can do this all inside the system, okay? Remember, anytime that a cost hits the P&L, it will show up in the actual. So if it's inventory related, it won't show up until we invoice. If we're using service items, things like that, if it's coded to the P&L, it will hit actuals. Okay, thank you so much for your time today. I hope that everyone has a wonderful week and meets us back next time.